Today's video is brought to you by Zool and Vigo, official couch warmers of Bert The Stormtrooper Reviews.
Hello and welcome, I'm Bert The Stormtrooper, and today I'm going to take this Harry Potter slime chamber and I'm going to customize it into a Masters of the Universe snake-themed slime pit by doing a couple of very simple, very easy, and very cheap alterations to it. So what I'm going to be using for my materials is I'm going to be using some of these rings. This I just got from the party section of my local department store. These are little just play rings that you can get for parties. I think this bag cost me like $2 or $3, and I got like 18 of these rings. I broke a couple while kind of figuring out what I wanted to do with them. I ended up using 4, and then the rest of these are going to go to my 3-year-old daughter. So nothing wasted there. I also got a couple of these Lego chains. I just picked up 4 of these chains. And then finally, I just kind of went to the dollar store and I was walking around the Halloween section, and this caught my eye, and I really like this. And it's just a skeleton of a bat from, again, the Halloween section at the dollar store. And I'm going to be using the head for this. So I'm going to be showing you exactly what we're going to be doing. So for this guy, all we need is the head, and this is just plastic. It pops right out. This can be discarded, and we're just going to use the head. So that's pretty much it for that. Now, in terms of the rings themselves, what we're going to use these for, I got this idea from Toy Poloi. Toy Poloi is a channel here on YouTube. He does toy restorations and toy customs, and it's an amazing channel to watch. I absolutely love watching his content. I don't think he even knows that I exist, but I do love watching his content. And he had used some party rings in one of his earlier videos to make some shackles for motu figures. So that's kind of where I got this idea from. So you get these little party rings, and then you can just snap off the little top of them off. And then I use my plastic nippers that I use for my Gundams to just kind of cut the shape around and just really just kind of cut the top of the ring off and leave only the round part on. Then I took my, before I did that, then I went ahead and just spray painted them with a primer. I used 2 different primers just to see which one looked better. So I have a darker one and I have a lighter one, as you can see right there. And then I took my 4 Lego chains and I glued them to the top of that. So there's going to be my chains and my shackles. And I've got my, my little, what do we want to call that? I mean, it's a bat skull, but it's Masters of the Universe, so there's always like dragons and giant lizards and reptiles and stuff like that. So this can be really any mythical creature from Masters of the Universe that you can imagine. Of course, we're going to need our Harry Potter slime chamber, and you're going to need some motu figures because you're going to want to slime these guys after we're done. Beastman, you're going to come wait over here, wait your turn, and let's get to the actual customizing part. So the first part that we're going to do, and this is probably the more risky, actually the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take that foot peg right there, or the foot strap, and I'm going to remove that. We're not going to need that anymore because we're going to have our chains. And really, while this kind of sort of works for the He-Man figures to get your foot in there, it's not a perfect fit. It is a bit fiddly. It kind of gets in the way. I'm not a big fan, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove this, and this is just going to go to my parts bin. So we're not going to be needing that anymore. Now, the next bit that we're going to do is we're going to take the diary and with the fang on it, and we're going to remove it. This is pegged on from the factory. There's 2 little pegs, and they are super glued on. So all you got to do is just kind of shimmy it and you wiggle it and try to pull it off. If you're lucky, you'll pull it off without breaking the tabs. Or you may break the tabs because they are super glued in. Either way, as long as you don't cause any damage to the base itself, you'll be fine, because then we're going to take this head, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this head in the place of that diary right there. So I'm just going to grab my little flat head right here. I'm going to try to get under it and just kind of pop it off. And you probably just heard it snap right there. And I did pop it off. I did break the tabs off. You can see I got these little 2 tabs here, had been super glued to the floor here, and it looks like they also put a little bit of glue here along the edges of the book itself. So there you go. Not a big loss. Again, I didn't want that there, so this is going to sit right here and take its place. So it's just a matter of figuring out which way I want it to sit, gluing it on, and then we'll move on to the shackles. Okay, so I've gone ahead and glued that bat head right there where the book or the diary used to be, and I think that looks pretty cool. I can still move the jaw a little bit, not a whole lot, but I can move it a little bit right there, and it really covers up the spots where the diary used to be, and I think that it really fits right in with the theme of this, with the whole Masters of the Universe theme, and it actually looks like it could have been an intended part of this playset. So I really like the way that looks right there. And again, it doesn't take up any more room than what the book that was already there takes up. It's really not going to get in the way of the gimmick, of the figures being in place, of the slime coming down, anything like that. So I really think that worked out really, really well. Really, really happy with the way that turned out. So let's get to the chain. So like I mentioned, I did get those little rings. I cut up the top portion of the ring. I left the ring part itself and I painted them, and then I glued each end or one end of each of these chains to it to kind of create these shackles. So now we have to attach the shackles to the actual pit itself, and there's a couple of ways to do this. Really, you can come up with, like, you can put originally I had like 2 shackles with 4 chains going around the top here, or you can go around the back, or you can just come up with all kinds of different ways to put this on there. I wanted something that actually attaches, and this actually works really, really perfectly right here. So if you look back here, these are the mounting points for the pegs where this back wall pegs into the base of the playset, and there's little screws right there, and that hole right there actually fits the little Lego piece perfectly. So you can actually just peg it in right there if you'd like. You can peg one over here, and initially what I was going for, let me show you this. What I was going for originally is I wanted 2 chains like this to go over the top like that, and then I was going to put another chain like this, since I made 4 of them. So I was going to peg the second chain right there and have the second chain attached to the foot. And that works well on this side because, again, the figure stands closer to this edge. It doesn't work so well on this side. The one that comes around for the arm, that one works because you can kind of move the arm sideways, but it doesn't reach all the way down here for the peg. But again, if you get maybe 2 chains, you can extend it to make it a little longer, so that'll work. But here is what I came up with. This is the way that I'm going to go with mine. And again, you can just do this in all kinds of different ways. But if you reach in here and you take this little screw out, because you saw how easily I popped those out a moment ago. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this screw, and then I'm going to put the Lego piece right back on that hole again. And then I'm going to take the screw one more time and just screw it right back in. And that way it becomes a little more of a solid connection, almost like a permanent, not really permanent. You can always come back and take it off. But you see what I mean? It's kind of a solid connection. It's not going to just pop off when you're playing with it or anything like that. So it's going to be on there really solid. It's not just going to fall off. And that's really kind of what I'm going for here. So it's something that acts as if it was the intended play pattern for this toy or play set. So that's going to work really well right there. Well, this one's not going in, but the other one went in just fine. So let me just get this one screwed in, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so that's in all the way. So these can now go all the way around. And then when we come to the front here, what I thought about doing with these guys is to go ahead and take these and also plug them into these chains here. So I think the way I want to do this is like this. Just peg those right there together to each other. So these are going to be on the arms, and these are going to be on the feet. And we'll do the same thing over here. And that's pretty much going to finish out this custom. Again, like I mentioned, this was going to be very simple, easy, and inexpensive to do custom. So check that out right there. I think that's going to work out really, really well. So let's test it out on a first subject. So we're going to bring He-Man right here, and we're going to put a couple of shackles right around his feet. So that's going to be our dark ones. I left the dark ones intentionally for the bottom, so we'll put those there. And then we can still use the spot where the foot used to go for the other figures as a marker, so we know exactly where to stand them. And then we'll take this shackle and we'll put it around this arm. Just like that. kind of give him a, kind of like a, he's pulling sort of a pose on there. We'll put this shackle around this arm. And yeah, check that out. I love that. I think that works out really, really well. Check this out. So yeah, it's more of it. So all of the, really anything that was kind of, at least to my eye, that was Harry Potter is gone now, which was the diary. I really just wanted to get rid of the diary and that foot peg, because the foot peg was really, or the foot strap rather, it was really kind of cumbersome and difficult to get the figures in and out, and I didn't want to damage or anything like that. So this way, it's open. We can still use the spot so we can mark where our figures are going to go, but we also needed something to kind of hold the figure down. You know, the slime pit had that claw that would grab the figure and hold it in place. I wanted to give this some kind of a semblance of you're a prisoner, you're trapped, and you can't go anywhere. And I think this really, really pulls it off. So yeah, I think that's it. That's it, at least for my slime pit, or my slime chamber has now been officially motu'd. It's officially no longer a Harry Potter slime chamber. It is now a Snake Mountain or a Snake Man slime pit. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. So we know what we're going to do next. We're going to open up the top. We're going to put some slime in, and we're going to take this guy out for a test run. So let's go ahead and do that now. Take our slime here, our original Mattel slime that came with this playset that I am just so happy that I got it fixed up and reconstituted. And it's just so good now. So we'll get that loaded up right in there. It's the perfect amount of stretchy and sticky and gooey. It's so good. So we'll let that go ahead and settle into the snake head right there. You can see it kind of oozing down into that chamber, or that cockpit, almost not a cockpit, but that opening right there, a little hatch right there at the top. We'll get it all in there real good. That's looking awesome. We'll close this guy up, set this off to the side. He-Man, you have been trapped in Snake Mountain, and we are going to make a slime zombie out of you. Let me try that again. We're going to make a slime zombie out of you. That's better. Okay, so here we go, guys. That is going to do it for the custom slime chamber, Harry Potter slime chamber, customized into Harry Potter. Let's open that up. Yeah, absolutely love the way this came out. Oh, that's going to be so good. Let's bring him forward just a little bit. Sorry, Beastman. Let's bring him over just a little bit. Get a real good slime effect going on right there. I really love, there's a little grate at the top of that snake head that holds slime. So it really kind of does this saliva, almost like a venom sac spit thing going on. Absolutely love the effect of this thing. So yeah, I am so incredibly happy with the way that this turned out. And again, that's going to do it for this short, quick, easy, inexpensive custom. This is a perfect replacement, or a perfect alternative. Now that the Origins figures are coming out, if you want to get yourself a slime pit, those original Mattel Masters of the Universe, or the Horde slime pit, they can be a little difficult and a little expensive to find. So if that turns out to be the case for you, this is a really fantastic, inexpensive alternative that is very easy to convert from Harry Potter into Masters of the Universe, and you got yourself a perfect Masters of the Universe slime pit right there. So that's going to do it for this video. As always, thank you so much for watching. Leave me a comment down below. Give me some thumbs up. Subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you're notified when I upload a new video. I've got a donate button up there. If you want to hit on that, I certainly would appreciate it. Please share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time.